Your only advantage lies in the spirit. And sometimes you must learn how to engage that realm. Anagkazo is the ability of God that compels things towards you. Why do you pray? You are praying because you want to attract the right possibility. That is why in the midst of danger, you begin to engage in prayer. Why? You want to change the situation, change the equation suddenly. What you wanted to do was Anagkazo. You want to enforce another kind of force. In the book of Acts chapter 26, I don't want to read it too because there's no time. Acts chapter 26 from chapter 1, from verse 1. When Paul was brought to Agrippa, Agrippa decided to question him because the Jews actually charged it against him. Go and read the entire Acts chapter 26, right? Yes. And by the time they brought Paul before Agrippa to defend himself, when Paul began to speak, he said, you see, it's not as if I want to do what I was doing, but I was one of the devoted Jews, one of you that is so devoted, school under Gamaliel. And I don't know why I found in scripture that should be part of those that should be able to advance the cause of the Jews. I went from diverse regions and I begin to compel all the believers, bringing them to their knees. I slay many witnesses of the Lord. He spoke about how many Christians he has killed, how many he has slaughtered. He spoke about how many that he has done his best, advanced from this region, from that region. He has killed them. And even the day they were killing the faithful witness Stephen, he was there because that battle was transferred to him. He doesn't know why by force he thought he was serving the Lord. He was so devoted doing the wrong thing with so much zeal and passion. So until one day, as he was on his way to Damascus, a light slapped him from the horse. And when the Lord slapped him from a horse, a power compelled him. And he doesn't even know why. Him that was advancing with a letter written to go and kill, now he realized that what he was supposed to be killing, he was supposed to be preserving it. All the people that are criticizing you are actually supposed to support you. All the people that are fighting you are actually supposed to support you. But what they don't understand is that when God has already apportioned a thing, you cannot kick against the barbed wires. So Paul tried to kick against the barbed wires, and Jesus appeared to him. He said, you cannot kick against the barbed wires. He said, who art thou, Lord? He said, I am Jesus whom thou hast been persecuted. He said, rise up now, you shall be blind. Go to one named Ananias. He will open your eyes and he will tell you what you have to do. And when Paul began to defend himself, telling King Agrippa that it's not as if he wanted to do what he was doing, but somehow he was compelled to do it, Agrippa began to understand that this guy may be innocent of what he's doing right now, although you charge him guilty. And when Paul was talking, Agrippa wondered. And he said, Kai, oh Paul, too much knowing has made you mad, that we don't understand, but you are speaking like a madman. We have studied this Torah. Where are you speaking these things from? When you begin to go deeper in God, men will look at you and think you are mad. They will look at you and say you are stupid. The things you say, they will say is heresies. They will say you are speaking things that is not normal. Yes. But the beautiful part of it that I love is that Agrippa said, Kai, I don't understand what you are saying, no, but Kai, you almost persuaded me. You almost converted me. I almost became a Christian. How all of a sudden you almost became a Christian? Just by hearing me talk. It was Anagkazo. That so long as you give me ear, one day you will burn yourself to what I'm saying. Many of you don't know why you are coming. You are still coming. Don't worry. A time will come after 3 years, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 1 month, after 2 months. You now look at your life and you say, Kai, as if I have deviated like this. Me that said this is how my life is, now I'm going like this. You don't know how Anagkazo has bent you. Because Agrippa did not want to even believe. But as he was speaking, a power was convicting him. If he did not stop Paul, he would have become born again. Stop! For you almost got me born again. And Paul said, oh Agrippa, it's not only you I want to get born again. I wish that everybody here listening to me should be born again. Hey! Guy, the power of God is to compel men to him. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men to myself. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men to myself. My last scripture so that we can pray. Luke chapter 14 from 16. Then said unto him, a certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and said, send his servant at the supper time to say to them that we are bidding, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must need to go and see it. I pray, have me excuse. Another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, excuse me. Another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the masters of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the street and the lane of the city, and bring in the poor, the maimed, the halt, the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of these men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. And there went great multitude with him. And he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and his mother and his wife and his children and his brethren and sister, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and counter the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it. What we saw here is strategically the story of God. How that the intention of God is that he wants to draw all of us to himself. All of us to himself. But one of the greatest challenges is that God used all kinds of tactics. He made a supper. He made a nice meal and told his servant, go, tell the people to come and be a part of it. When he went and met them, everyone gave excuse. This one said, I just married and I have to be with my wife. This one said, I just bought a land. This one said, I just did this, I just did that. Those were good excuses, but it doesn't make sense when it comes to the operations of God. Every excuse is not an excuse so long as God is concerned. And immediately, suddenly, he said, okay, forget about this one that I've invited legally. Go into the highway. Go into the byways. Go and compel men to come. And the servant went. I don't know how he did it. He went and compelled men, and they came into the house. But these were the same city where they say there were no people. But somebody go with what? Anagkazo, and he was able to get it. You see, when you go to a place, everybody can give their own testimony. There's no job in Lafia, no job in Abuja, but everybody in Abuja is excelling except you. That means they know something you don't know. They have something you don't know. No wonder men subscribe to a higher altar. And that is why immediately, when the other servant was able to compel men to come, the Lord said, just to let you know that all the people that legally were invited will never be given the approval again to stand together with me. Why? Because in the day when they were beckoned upon, they rejected it.